You reach something you've been working toward for months, a new job, a goal, a change. For a moment, it feels exactly like you imagined. And then quietly, it fades. A few days later, it feels normal, and a strange thought appears. Was that it? People sometimes assume this means they chose the wrong goal, or that they should have aimed higher. But that explanation is incomplete. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your brain quickly neutralizes your successes, why your sense of enough keeps shifting, and why this often creates the feeling that you're falling behind, even when you're moving forward. Welcome to Mini Mind Hack. We often believe that satisfaction is something we reach, that once we achieve the right milestone, the feeling will stay. But in reality, the mind is constantly adjusting what it considers normal. In this video, we'll look at how that adjustment happens, why it exists, and how it changes the way you experience progress over time. To understand this, we need to look at how your brain handles change. When something improves in your life, your brain treats it as important. You notice details, you pay attention. The first days feel different. A new environment feels sharper. A new situation feels meaningful. There is a sense that something has shifted. But attention is not neutral. It requires energy. So, over time, your brain begins to reduce it. What was once new becomes expected. What was once noticeable becomes background. Not because it lost value, but because your brain stopped treating it as a signal. This process is often described as hedonic adaptation. In 1971, psychologists Philip Brickman and Campbell introduced the idea that as people gain more, their expectations rise with them. The result is not constant satisfaction, but a moving baseline. You are not staying in the same place externally, but internally, your sense of normal keeps adjusting to match your current situation. You can see this in small, everyday changes. The first time you upgrade something, you notice everything. The speed, the comfort, the difference. But after a few weeks, those details disappear from your awareness. They don't feel special anymore. They feel standard. And once something becomes standard, it stops producing that initial sense of reward. From the perspective of your nervous system, this makes sense. If your brain treated every improvement as permanently important, it would lose the ability to detect what actually needs attention. So instead, it compresses the experience over time. It removes the intensity so it can stay responsive to new changes. This is not a flaw, it is a function. But the environment we live in today amplifies this process. In the past, there were natural limits to comparison. Your sense of progress was shaped by a relatively small circle. Today, that reference point is constantly expanding. Each time you reach something, you are exposed to someone who is further ahead. And because your brain has already normalized your current position, those external signals begin to define what ahead looks like. This creates a mismatch. Your internal system is resetting to stability, while your external environment keeps raising the standard. So even as your life improves, your experience of it doesn't accumulate. It resets. This is why the feeling of not enough can persist even during progress. Not because progress isn't happening, but because your brain is continuously adapting to it. Some of the most well-known research on this comes from studies comparing people after major life changes. Brickman and his colleagues found that after both positive and negative events, people tend to move back toward a familiar emotional baseline over time. Not perfectly and not immediately, but enough to show how strong this resetting mechanism is. What this suggests is simple. External changes matter, but their emotional impact is often temporary. Your internal system is constantly working to stabilize itself. So when you find yourself in a situation you once wanted, and it no longer feels the way you expected, it doesn't necessarily mean the goal was wrong. It means your brain has already integrated it. What once felt like progress has become your new starting point. And from there, the process begins again, This is where many people misinterpret the experience. They assume the problem is the goal, so they set a new one, but the same pattern repeats. Short-term elevation, then normalization, then the search for the next step. Over time, this can create a constant sense of chasing, not because you are doing something wrong, but because the system itself is designed to keep moving. So when that thought appears again, this doesn't feel like enough. It's worth pausing for a moment. Not to reject it, but to understand where it comes from. In many cases, it's not a reflection of your situation. It's a reflection of adaptation. Your brain is no longer responding to the change because it has already absorbed it. Once you see that, the question begins to shift. Not, why doesn't this make me happy anymore? But, what was I expecting this to do over time? Because no single outcome is designed to hold your attention permanently. It creates a peak, and then it becomes part of the background. Understanding that doesn't remove the process, but it changes how you interpret it. Instead of seeing the fading feeling as failure, you can recognize it as a reset, a transition from change to normal. And that recognition can make your experience of progress more stable. Not by making satisfaction permanent, but by making the pattern visible. Thank you for watching. And if these videos help you understand your own experience a little more clearly, you can subscribe to Mini Mind Hack or share your thoughts in the comments. If you'd like to explore the research further, the full list of literature and sources is available in the video description and the pinned comment below. Take care. See you next time.